Yo, what's going on, my VVOGs, my Omi homies, my fellow master collectors, and everybody else on YouTube? It's your bromy, the Gale, back at it again with another VV strategy video. Let's do it. Okay, so the bulls are still out to play. We are having a bull market on the VV app at the moment. Everything is booming. I don't know if it's whales or new users or a combination of both, but at any rate, prices are going up. And in this video, I wanted to tell you guys about a strategy that I've implemented a couple of times and that I'm sure other people are doing, and I call it stacking. It's when you buy multiple of a single NFT and just stack it, and you know, you just wait for the prices to go up. So I just want to show you guys a couple of examples of which I was successful in stacking, and then a couple of possible opportunities, and then we're going to call it a day. So without further ado, let's breeze into it. Okay, so the first item I want to take a look at is the Back to the Future no-tech hoverboards. So the current floor is $50 right now. Back in maybe like 3 to 4 months ago, these were going for around the floor price of 13 gems. Yeah. So I saw the opportunity to stack 23 of them, you know, on an average price of like 13 to 15 gems maybe, because in the VVverse, I expect for these no-tech hoverboards to be rideable. I don't think they're just going to drop hoverboards and not allow us to use them as transportation. We already seen the DeLorean be drivable, so it makes sense for these hoverboards to be able to, you know, maybe move faster than normal in the VVverse. As opposed to walking, you might be able to move like 2 times faster on a hoverboard. So I decided to stack these in the chance that we might be able to rent these out to people on our land and stuff. You know, speculation moves. But the point in saying this is that, you know, they are currently $50 now. So there is no way that I mean, you know, I probably could maybe, but there's no way I'm spending $50 to get 23 hoverboards at this point in time. So the opportunity was back when nobody was thinking about these hoverboards, and that is how I was able to get 23 of them. And you can do the math at how much they're worth right now. But yeah, that stacking is an interesting technique to do. When new items are dropped and people don't understand the value of them right away, they will list them for the floor price or for retail price or below, similar to the comics, which we'll talk about later in the video. But that is your opportunity to stack for an affordable price, and you'll just have to wait for time to catch up to what you already know is going to happen. That's why it's important to understand the value of what you're buying. You need to know what you're buying. You need to know what these items are, so that you can make the appropriate moves and have the faith to hold, you know, while they are seemingly worthless to other people. So this is what I did. I stacked 23 no-tech hoverboards because it was the cheapest at the time. The rest of the hoverboards were pretty expensive, so I decided to get the no-tech hoverboard. And it's pretty cool anyway. No-tech, you know, crypto technology, no-tech, you know, I just thought it was all cool, so it worked out. So we're going to see what happens with this board going forward. Let's move on. Okay, the next item I want to talk about is Fumo. So, oh my goodness, did not even realize Fumo is currently $121. I was actually purchasing Fumo back at retail in the store. I might have gotten 5 at retail, which was $16, we'll call it $16. So I currently have 12 Fumos. And then I was buying Fumos for around like maybe 20 to 30 gems, like maybe a few months ago, maybe 3 months ago. The reason I was doing that is because I noticed that the number 3,500 is extremely low compared to the user base that Veve will have in the future. And the Tokidoki fans haven't even arrived on Veve yet, like the legit hardcore collectors. And I just wanted to have a decent amount of Fumos for when that happens. So I've always had it in my mind that I'll be able to sell like Fumos for like 300 to 500 a piece, and it's already looking like that is coming to fruition. They must have jumped overnight because the last time I checked, they were like 80 gems. So yeah, I'm no whale, or else I would have stacked more Fumos. I did what I could while trying to participate in new drops and stuff. But yeah, I mean, season 1, 3,500 editions. So I'm gonna hold. I could sell off and be in extreme profit, but I'm gonna hold because it's still too early. We're not even on Immutable X yet, so just wanted to show you why I stacked the Fumos. Moving on. Now I want to show you guys a missed opportunity. Let's take a look at the common, The Amazing Spider-Man. This was Marvel's first ever drop, first appearance, and Spider-Man no less. So right after the drop, Spider-Man was going for like 25 gems because there was 16,000 editions dropped. That seemed like quite a lot of editions back in the day, back when he first dropped. So people were selling him at retail, and this lasted for about 2 to 3 months. Fast forward to today, there's only 165 left listed in the market, and he currently has a floor of 234 gems. So let me repeat, he was going for retail at 25 gems back after he was dropped. People could have stacked $400, could have stacked them. And now they're worth 230 gems and probably going to climb once we make the switch to Immutable X. So this was a missed opportunity. Marvel's first ever drop. Should have been obvious, right? Hindsight is 2020 as usual. Marvel's first ever drop. Firsts are important in the collecting world. So just beat that in your head. First appearances, first drops, first Disney, first Marvel, first Pokemon, firsts are important. The first car, you name it. So just remember that going forward. If it's a first, Disney Golden Moments, if it's a first, you might want to stack as much as you possibly can while being financially responsible. Just saying. Moving on. Okay, so now I want to bring it to the comics. And we're going to take a look at Marvel Comics, issue number 1. This is the first comic that was ever dropped on Veve. And when it dropped, nobody knew how to appraise it. Nobody understood its value. We just didn't know. People thought it was worthless. They thought there was too many editions. So they were listing it for like 2 to 5 gems, maybe 7 gems after the drop. And because there's 48,000 editions, right? And like I said, nobody knew how to appraise the comics. So, we had a good opportunity to stack as many as we could. Like $100 probably would have got you like 20 to 30 of these. And as you see, they have a floor of 94 gems right now. So I was able to stack 25 over a month or so. Yeah, I mean, I did what I could. But before it was too late, the price had already gotten up to about 20 gems or whatever. So the point here is to understand what is being dropped. If we knew that this comic was so iconic, first of all, people wouldn't have been listing it for those low prices, and a lot more people would have been stacking these comics. I know a lot of whales have been stacking these comics, and I'm definitely no whale. I did what I could. 25 is going to go a long way, as you can already see. It's already basically $100 a comic right now. So know what's dropping. Understand what's dropping. As soon as we heard the comics were dropping, we should have did our research, because there's a Medium article that comes out before each drop. So we have time to do research on these drops to understand what exactly is dropping. So I think that's the lesson there. So sticking with the comics, I believe like the very second comic to ever drop was the Fantastic Four, issue number 1. So when people were catching on to Marvel Comics 1, they were starting to understand the importance of it. So while that price was rising, this comic right here was being overlooked. So if anybody did the research, they would understand that this is also a Grail comic. This is the comic that Jack Kirby and Stan Lee did together, and it kept Stan Lee in the Marvel game and the comics game. And long story short, it's an important comic. So when people were neglecting this one, I kind of I started stacking these up at like 7 to 14 gems. So it's currently $40 now, and I was able to stack 44 of this, or actually 40 of this common right here. So you gotta follow the trends and just kind of like try to learn from the past. Like, I seen what Marvel Comics 1 did, so I thought to look to the second best comic, because odds are it was going to follow the same trajectory of the best comic on the app. So this comic will reach $100 too. It might take a few more months, but it's definitely going to get there. So you can see it's $39 now, when Marvel Comics 1 is $90. So what I would say to you guys right now, or anybody who is listening, is to try to find the next best comic, which would probably be Journey into Mystery. I would say. I think that was the third comic dropped on Veve, or it could be The Amazing Spider-Man #1. But the point is, there's tons of opportunities on this app, and especially with comics, you just got to find the next one that is affordable that you can stack. So Journey into Mystery is the first appearance of Loki and Heimdall in Asgard. So it's $19 now. So it's going to hit $39 eventually. It's probably going to hit $50 eventually. So basically, you want to start looking at things that you can stack that's affordable for you. If you're looking to stack things, a lot of these items are going to follow the same trend. We are very early on Veve. That's why stacking is a pretty decent strategy, because basically everything on Veve right now is undervalued. We're not on the Mutable X yet. We're not mainstream. We don't have that many eyes on Veve yet. Even though we're getting a lot of new people, it's still nothing compared to what it's going to be. So stacking is still a viable option. Let me look. Marvel's right here. This is always an overlooked comic right here. So let's see how much it is. I think it's like $10. Yep, it's $10. So this would be the one I would think about stacking next, possibly. It's got basically the same story as Marvel Comics 1, just from a different perspective. But this will probably hit $30 to $40 eventually. So you see it's $10 now, so obviously there's room to grow. So yeah, that's what I would say. And that's the video, my friends. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the content or learned something, feel free to drop a like on the video and consider subscribing for more Veve content like this. So stacking, it is still a viable option. You just gotta, stack what works for your financial situation. Veve is so early, everything's probably gonna go up, most likely. Yeah, I mean, that's what's happening now, and I think it's going to continue as we move to Immutable and Ethereum and etc., etc. So with that being said, I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I say is financial advice. I'm just sharing with you what I'm doing, my tips, my tricks, my thoughts and opinions on this wonderful app known as Veve. So take everything that you hear with a grain of salt, because things could change. And with that being said, thanks again for watching, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Until then, peace out and hodl strong. Later.